People that follow the model of Judge Moore, that do not need to raise money from the elites, from the crony capitalists, from the fat cats in Washington, D.C., New York City, Silicon Valley.
That's Steve Bannon. Thrilled that his candidate, Rob Moore, won the Alabama Republican primary. Now it's off to the general, where he is believed to be the odds-on favorite to win the seat that was vacated by Jeff Sessions. Tom Yamas joins us, ABC News correspondent in Birmingham, Alabama. Good morning, Tom.
McGraw, great to be with you this morning. Republican voters here in Alabama sent shockwaves to GOP leaders and to the president himself because the president backed Senator Luther Strange, who lost last night. The president bragging that he has been undefeated in special elections with the candidates he supported, but that all changed last night. But it was really a strange dynamic, McGraw. I got to tell you, I was at the pre-election night rally for Roy Moore where Steve Bannon spoke, and I asked Steve Bannon, I said, listen, what do you tell Trump supporters who are here in the crowd wearing Trump paraphernalia, but they're not backing his candidate, they're backing Roy Moore? And Bannon, who broke with his old boss, said, listen, I'm here as an individual citizen. I'm backing the guy I think is best, the guy who I think best represents what Jeff Sessions represents, because essentially this is Jeff Sessions' old seat. And Bannon was right. He ended up picking the winner in this race. And the Republicans now may have a tough time because Roy Moore has a long, controversial past. I mean, he's the former Chief Justice here, but he's taken very provocative positions on gay marriage, on Islam, and a host of other social issues. And now the Republican Party is rallying behind him, but they may have to also defend some of those views. Senator Mitch McConnell, who opposed him, and the president, who obviously supported Strange, as we mentioned, are now supporting Roy Moore. So we'll see how this plays out. The election's in December. You mentioned the Democrats are going to have a tough time, a real hard time. The last time a Democrat won a Senate seat here in Alabama was 1992. That was Senator Richard Shelby, who then 2 years later became a Republican and has held the seat ever since.
It's interesting. If you look at the establishment Republicans, even with Donald Trump on their side, lost on this. I mean, it kind of shows you where the establishment Republican Party is in 2017.
Well, look, no doubt President Trump has had a bad week. Senator Mitch McConnell may have had an even worse week because you look at what happened here in Alabama with Roy Moore and Senator Luther Strange, but then you look at health care as well. And so you're right, the establishment, and that's who Steve Bannon's talking about there, the establishment wing of the party is having a very tough time, and we'll see what happens. The other big fear, McGraw, was that this race would spark an interest and would inspire other insurgent conservative candidates to take on incumbents. And that's exactly what the Republican Party does not want.
Unlike, people are saying this is akin to the Todd Akin issue here in Missouri, but everyone ran away from Todd Akin 6+ years ago. Seems like they're embracing Roy Moore.
Well, you're right. They are. And there's been a lot of talk about the Todd Akin thing as well. You're completely right. But we'll see what happens. We'll see once this story develops, once sound bites start to be played of what Roy Moore has said. You know, and once that becomes more, I think, in tune with the mainstream media, once people see and hear and learn more about Roy Moore, because if you're really deep into politics, you know about Roy Moore. You remember the Ten Commandments. You remember the refusing to issue the same-sex marriage licenses. But if you're a casual political observer, you may not know about Roy Moore. You're going to hear a lot about him over the next couple of months before that election on December 12th.
Are Democrats thrilled that Roy Moore won? Because now he can be the poster child for all the things Democrats want to get done.
Well, look, I mean, they are putting out releases. I think they know that with Roy Moore, they possibly may have a chance at winning back that seat, but it's very tough. I mean, Roy Moore did well here last night. Like I said, since 1992, they haven't elected a Democrat to the Senate. This is a very deep red state. I mean, President Trump had one of his biggest rallies ever here in Alabama that I went to when Sessions first came out and endorsed him. So it's going to be a tough uphill climb. I think what can happen is the Democrats are going to try to use Moore as sort of a wedge candidate, if you will, to highlight a bigger problem with the GOP. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how the Republicans respond to that.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting. Donald Trump, a New York liberal, having his most support in Alabama. Who would have thought, right? Tom Yamas, ABC News correspondent in Birmingham, Alabama. Thanks for the insight, Tom.
McGraw, great to be with you.